This tutorial is going to help you to graph cosecant and secant functions. So you should have this worksheet in front of you. The first thing I want you to do is fill in the table for the sine of x, and then use that row in order to figure out the cosecant of x. And we know the cosecant is 1 over the sine of x. So really, you're just taking the reciprocal of all the sines that you get here. So take a minute, try to fill that out on your own, and then come back to this. So hopefully you have the first row filled out, so the sine of x for each of these angle measurements. So to figure out the cosecant of x, like we said, we're going to do the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 0 over 1 is 1 over 0, which we know is going to be undefined. So anywhere that your sine was 0, your cosecant is going to be undefined. The reciprocal of 1, well, 1 over 1 is still 1, so your reciprocal is 1. And of -1 is going to still be -1. So the root 2 over 2 is what we really have to deal with here. So 2 over root 2, the reciprocal of that, let's rationalize by multiplying by root 2 on top and on bottom. So we get 2 root 2 over 2. These 2's cancel, so our reciprocal is the square root of 2. So the cosecant of pi over 4, for instance, is the square root of 2. This is also the square root of 2, and then the reciprocal of these are just going to be negative root 2. So take a minute and try to graph this on your paper. I do want you to pause the video and see if you can do it on your own, and then come back and check. So if you did this on your own, this is the type of graph that you should have. And I understand you might not have known exactly how to connect these points. The first thing I want to point out is anywhere that your answer, your cosecant of an angle is undefined, we put in a vertical asymptote. So at 0, pi, 2 pi, and so on. And then pi over 2, the cosecant of pi over 2 was 1. The cosecant of pi over 4 was root 2, which is what we're up here when we estimate that's about 1.4. And you can connect these, and it almost looks, it's parabolic in shape, right? So you have like a parabola, opening up, and then down here it's like a parabola opening down. This is one full period of the cosecant function. So just like sine and cosine, your period is 2 pi, okay? So we're going to talk about how to kind of come up with this quickly towards the end of the video, but I want you to go ahead and do the same for secant. So pause the video, see if you can fill out your table and create your graph. So assuming you have done that, here is the table that I have for the cosine of a function, and then the secant, as we know, is just 1 over the cosine. So again, you're doing the reciprocal of the cosine to get the secant. And when you graph this, it looks similar, except that opening up parabola is kind of split in half. But this, again, is one full period of the secant function. So a period is 2 pi, just like the cosine function has a period of 2 pi. So how do you come up with these in a quicker way? Well, in general, I talked you through how to come up quickly with that sine graph by your 5 critical points, right? We know that sine starts on the midline at 0, 0. The sine of pi over 2 is 1. The sine of pi is 0. The sine of 3 pi over 2 is -1. And the sine of 2 pi is 0. So we're able to come up with that wave. And again, this is no transformations or anything like that. This is just a typical sine graph. So if you can come up with that, then you can come up with the cosecant function. So we're going to do that down here. What you need to do is start it out the same way. So your 4th tick mark, we label with the period, and we label back halfway and then halfway again so that we can label all of these. And then I want you to visualize where that sine function is. It used to start here, go up, come back down, and then back to the midline again. So anywhere that you have something that's on the midline, we are now going to make that a vertical asymptote, right? Because the output here was 0, the reciprocal of 0 is undefined. So you're going to have a vertical asymptote on that y-axis, which I know is kind of hard to see, also on pi, and then 2 pi. And then these points where we would have pi over 2, 1, you still have pi over 2, 1 for your cosecant function and 3 pi over 2, -1. But instead of connecting like a wave, this is where you're going to go ahead and create your parabolic shapes. So this is going to go down. Let me get rid of that for you so you can see. And there we go. There's our cosecant function. And you can do the same with cosine, right? We know cosine typically starts at 0, 1, comes down to the midline, below to pi -1, back to the midline and back up. So you still created this wave. And now we're going to utilize that in the same way and create our secant function. So if we create the secant function, picture anywhere that you had a point off the midline, you keep that point. So there's going to be a point here, but this time it's going to open up, right? This point that was on the midline is now going to create your vertical asymptote. A point off the midline, it's below the midline, so this is going to open down. Here at 3 pi over 2, I know I didn't label these, but hopefully you can use those same labels as up here, down here. And then 2 pi, 1, and this one's going to open up as well. You don't even have to draw this side, but you can keep going and draw as much of that kind of parabola shape as you would like. The biggest thing is I always just want one full period of any graph. So the next videos are going to walk you through how to manipulate these and use transformations to create different graphs for secant and cosecant.